So if I'm going to roll out a bunch of coils and this clay is already a little bit stiff, it would be a good idea to get a wet sponge and just lightly cover the canvas table with a little bit of water. That way when I'm rolling this out, I'm not sucking all the water out, right? If you put too much water, it's going to turn into a mess. Roll from the center out. You want to try to avoid trapping any air in there. Okay, this is a pretty big coil. I'm going to go ahead and tear this in half. So we talked about your coil doesn't have to be round, right? This is probably a decent size. It's pretty big. It's fairly heavy. If you're going to add this onto a pot that's really thin, and this is really big, what do you think might happen? It's gonna fall over, right? It's not gonna be able to hold the weight. How about now? Still heavy, but not as big around. Okay? So I can take this over here now. I started this about 30 minutes ago. Alright? So I can take my coil. Now, if I want the shape of this to change, right now it's a really boring shape. If I want this to go in, I can start adding the coil from the inside. If I want it to go out, then I'm going to add the coil more from the outside. Let's make this go out because I think that's more difficult. So I'm going to add this. Then where these two join, it's best if these join instead of straight together at a 45-degree angle. You'll double the surface area. So you can use your wire, you can use your wooden knife, you can use your metal knife. I like to cut it with the wire. You can cut them both at the 45-degree angle. Perfect, every time. Pretty easy, right? Now with my thumb on the inside, I'm pulling the clay up. And I'm going to start blending that. Then on the outside, I'm going to blend it down. Why would I do that? Stronger, right? By blending one side up and the other side down, instead of that being connected just this way, right? You're stretching that out to where one side's going down, one side's going up, and that joint is going to be like almost like an S or a Z shape. So when this thing dries, when you're putting all the stress on it with the decoration, when it goes to the kiln, etc., etc. And especially imagine, how did the Anasazi and Membres fire these? Was it in a really nice computerized electric scut kiln?
No, sometimes they put it in fire.
It had to be fired only one way. What was it?
Fire.
Wood.
Yeah, campfire. So. Oh, that's what you're going to research. And again, where the belt meets, I'm going to pull all the clay one side on the inside and the other direction on the outside. Membres, non-Anasazi related thing. In a lot of cultures, for example, when I lived in South Korea, the way you make pots that are 5 or 6 or 8 feet tall is this technique. Right? You can use the kick wheel, you can put the stuff together, then you can kick the wheel and turn it and use a sponge or use these other tools and manipulate it and refine the shape and make it essentially perfect. Y'all can do that, right? Because that doesn't involve centering and opening and all the difficult things that throwing really involves, but you're still using the wheel as the essential tool. All right? So, y'all go on, get to work, glaze your cups. I'm going to be over